It's CCSD Today, your insider's guide to the Charleston County School District. This week, we get an inside look at Murray Lasaine Elementary School. Hear from interim principal Lasaine Conroy. And meet the new principal for 2016, Meredith Wallace. CCSD Today starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to CCSD Today. I'm your host, Everett German. Well, coming up on today's show, we're going to head on over to James Island and we're going to visit the fine folks over at Murray Lasaine Elementary School. Newly renovated and ready to show off all the good things taking place at Murray Lasaine. So we'll take a break. You're watching CCSD Today.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick.
And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year, but that won't be me.
Or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Brought to you by Cruise Chevy. You've got a friend in the car business.
And welcome back, everyone, to CCSD Today. We're on the road on James Island. We're here at Murray Lasaine Elementary School, a pillar of this community, and we're pleased to be joined by the interim principal, Lasaine Conroy. Ms. Conroy, first of all, thank you so much for opening up the doors and letting us come in and see the new Murray Lasaine.
You are so welcome, and we are delighted that you came today.
Now, like I mentioned, Ms. Conroy is the interim principal, kind of in transition. Ms. Conroy, you also have another title that you're probably known by more in the Charleston County School District system. Talk a little bit about your other position.
Well, I've been asked to be the Montessori specialist, which my work is about developing the Montessori program in Charleston. We have 5 schools supporting those programs and teachers and principals, as well as the expansion piece of it, growing the program so that we can offer it to more families across the Charleston County School District.
So what's this last year been like for you, essentially doing dual roles, also a school where you didn't start out in this building at the beginning of the year? I would imagine a pretty challenging year for you this past year.
It is, but I look at it as a great work. In Montessori, we talk about big works our children work on, and so for me, it was the best work of a lifetime.
Give us a little background on your experience, because you've been in the education realm for a lot of years.
It has been a lot of years. This is finishing my 29th year in Charleston County, and I'm so proud to have been here for that length of time because all of my daughters are also teachers, and one is a lead teacher and one's an assistant principal in Charleston County, so they've all followed in my footsteps, which is also such an honor, but I love the work. I guess throughout my career, other people saw things in me before I recognized them in myself, so they would say, you know, she's the right person for this. So every time a door closed, another window opened, so to speak, and I was asked to do something else. And so I really was honed by others' great knowledge in the district of watching me from afar. And so to me, that is, I can't say enough. I would do my life over again and do the same thing because I think it's just been an honor to be a part of this. My work with the schools, though, I have been turnaround principal 3 other times. And so I've been asked by different superintendents to go in and help bridge and work with the communities. And so it's been an honor from Mount Zion, and I was at Goodwin when there was a transition there, and I'm also then at Malcolm C. Hersey, and then now this school. And so even though this has been a short year, a year, which is short, usually I'm there much longer, it was just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for me again to have a closer look at the work we do in Montessori through my teachers every day and the students' hands on the materials that we do. It was just, as I told my principals as I step back towards my other work, that it gives me a more defined look about the work we're going to do this year, even in their schools.
All right, let's talk about the cosmetic makeup of the school. Same building, there are some things that still remain from the original school back in 1955. One thing that really jumps out to me, as soon as you walk in, the mural on the wall, kind of recognizing the Emmanuel 9. Talk about that very special piece and its connection to this school.
Well, it was important. This was a major year for the school, and one thing that brought that home for me as I worked on having the mural painted in a timeline fashion, that through the years at Murray Lasaine, the faculty and staffs and previous principal, Blondell Kidd, always had a faculty picture done, and on that faculty picture, she'd have major events listed on there. So I thought, well, the school has two major events. One, the dedication of the new school building, which had been here since 1955, bridging the Cut Bridge, the original school for the African American children that they attended, and that this was their school when it opened in 1955. So it was really important to show that bridge between it, because Cut Bridge was just one street away. I've driven down Brabham over and over again trying to picture where that school was in that marsh. And Emmanuel 9. I was asked to take over the school during that same month that occurrence occurred, and I thought, what a perfect way to honor both. And I thought that would be so important to put both of those pieces together, because events like that will remind what age they were, what grade they were in, their teacher. All of that comes together in a beautiful, way to just keep that memory strong.
Talk about the Montessori approach of schooling, a little different than maybe your traditional school. Kind of just educate us on Montessori.
Well, it's different in the way that the designer, Dr. Maria Montessori, she chose to do this when studying to be an educator by walking by and seeing children who were playing outside with nothing in their hands. They weren't in school. And so what she did was to pass this tenement in Rome. And what she did was she started to go home and make materials, and she'd bring them back. And she started with practical life for the care of self and the environment, because it was all run down and not taken care of. And so by making these materials she brought back, she actually, after several months, there was such success already happening with material after material being brought in. She was their only teacher. She would come by and teach. The parents were tugging, how can we do this at home? That what she had done was the mayor in Rome asked her if she'd start the school right there in the tenement, and so she did. The actual Montessori philosophy and methodology is about centering the work around the child. We want to follow the child. We want to guide the child. We want their interests to be known. We want them to choose the work that they're going to be on. Certainly with our guidance and lessons, we give formal lessons every day. I would say it's direct instruction at its fullest. It is a scripted lesson. It doesn't feel like it's a scripted lesson, but the teachers have lessons in all of their manuals when they take training, and so they can go to that manual and they see each step that they have to give. So every teacher gives it the same way. So it's probably the most procedurally sound, because we have to give it that way. Otherwise, the students won't know how to do it on their own. So the redundancy and repetition of each lesson builds mastery in the child, and from there, incrementally, we have those that go from simple to complex and concrete to abstract, and they follow that sequence as they travel through the program.
Now, you got a new building here in the same location. Like we said, you started out earlier this year in a different building over at the Styles Point, right?
Space.
The new campus, just gorgeous, Ms. Conroy.
It has been. People just love it when they come in. I mean, it's just great to keep getting the compliments that we have on the location, the location and the way the renovation has been done. And then we also really wanted to make sure that the mural was a big piece. We want it to be a centerpiece of the school, so that when you come by, the curvature of the glass in the library also reflects that mural when the lights are off. You actually see a double mural, so it's almost, it gives you goosebumps to see that. But every one of the curriculum pods that you'll see is a primary home. So we'll have a primary home, a lower L home, an upper L home, where they're multi-age settings.
Okay.
So it's a big space in the middle where children can bring their work out to the floor, work on it, because we have some materials, as I said, are great works or big works. So they have to have a lot of space so they can work with a 1,000-bead chain. So they're out there working, and we're hoping you'll be able to capture some of those scenes today.
I would imagine a school like Murray Lasaine, right in the heart of James Island, community partners, so important. Getting involved with the community, them supporting the school. Tell us about your community partners and the great relationship that you guys have.
Well, it's been interesting, because I found out along the way doing the mural and interviewing people that had been at Cut Bridge as well as the Murray Lasaine, that's how I really found out who everybody was. And the James Island County Park, they have been their business partner. This will be their 31st year that they have been the school's business partner, and that's why they're even represented on the mural, because I felt they needed to have an important part or piece on the mural. But David Bennett has been, 30 years. The director, and so he's been part of the school for that long, and that's an unusual circumstance to have someone that long working with the school. We have various churches in the area, the Baptist Church, Presbyterian Church. Their ladies come and do lunches for the teachers. I mean, they'll just, once a month.
Wow.
I mean, that's without asking. They just want to come and do it. They want to share their thankfulness, generosity, and gratitude for the teaching that's done by the teachers for the children.
Well, Ms. Conroy, I tell you what, we are so looking forward to the rest of the show, kind of taking a look
That's
around the
great.
campus
That would
and
be
talking with
wonderful.
some of your staff. And again, congratulations. I know it was a
thank you.
great journey being from obviously the beginning of the year in a different building to here. You've done a great job. And so
Thank you.
Charleston County is very lucky to have people like you.
Well, thank you for being here. We'd love to spread the message.
Well, not a problem at all. So that's Lasaine Conroy, the interim principal here at Murray Lasaine, joining us on CCSD today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look around the new Murray Lasaine. You're watching CCSD today. We'll be right back.
Kiowa Cares represents a really unique way and an organized way for folks who live here on Kiowa to connect, partner, and help those who live in our neighborhood, which includes Johns and Wabula Island.
And the idea was that many, many people who live on Kiowa very generously work as individuals in the community. But we felt as a community association, we needed to do more in a unified way to be good neighbors. And out of that came the idea of Kiowa Cares.
They brought volunteers, but most of all, they brought love. They showed love and they said, we want to be a good neighbor, and they have been a good neighbor to me and to this community.
Kiowa Cares quickly jumped on board and was really excited about the idea of supporting the local farmers and supporting the Johns Island community as well.
We're excited about the partnership, and we are in constant communication, updating them on things that we are working on, areas where I continue to see improvement, I share with them. And so it's like we are in tune, working together, one common goal, and it's all beginning to come together.
What it means to me to be a part of Kiowa Cares is I'm able to do things I wouldn't normally have done on my own. I get the sense of community when I work with them.
We're trying to put good people in touch with organizations that could use their help.
The law firm of Young Clement Rivers has been serving the Charleston Low Country since 1968. All of the lawyers of Young Clement Rivers are proud to be partners with the Charleston County School District. We're convinced that the hard work of the school district employees and staff prepares our young people to face the challenges of the future. We look forward to continuing our partnership and in helping the school district to meet its standard of excellence.
And welcome back, everyone, to CCSD today, still over at Murray Lasaine. And as you can imagine, a ton of gifted and talented students here. And the leader of the Gifted and Talented program at Murray Lasaine joins us. It's now our good friend, Catherine Porter. Ms. Porter, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Gifted and Talented program here at Murray Lasaine. Obviously, a ton of talented kids here, and you're in charge of leading them. Just talk about your experience here at Murray Lasaine.
Okay. Well, this year we've been talking a lot about invention.
inventions. So we've kind of walked through some processes with Thomas Edison and Rube Goldberg and making some roller coasters. And so this time of year, we've, after practicing and rehearsing and talking about advertisement, they're making their own inventions. So we're leading into our final project of the year.
Now, speaking of inventions and projects, one of the more popular shows on television these days, Shark Tank.
Yes.
We had a chance to sit in on some of your Shark Tank auditions, and some really creative minds here at Murray Lasaine. Some pretty good inventions.
Yeah.
How did that all come about?
So for probably the last 4 weeks, we've been working in steps and researching topics and identifying problems. They worked back through December over things that bugged them, and so they had to research what was a good invention, how they could use technology to overcome an issue that they had. And so they came up with different products, and all of them are very unique. There's some digital products. There's one for an app for Snapchat, and there's one that's, they can take recreational hiking. So they're very different in their strengths, but they're all innovative, and they're all inventions that they've made themselves.
Now, could any students in the school participate, or were there certain criteria for being in the Shark Tank program?
Sure. So we, at Gifted and Talented at Murray Lasaine, we do tested, qualified students that come to Gifted and Talented, as well as enrichment students. So they can have a nomination from their teacher, or their parents can kind of nominate them for testing, or if they partially qualify for SAIL, they're all included in that program at Murray Lasaine.
Now, we got a chance to see a couple of them. Now, the winner, what does the winner get if he wins the Shark Tank competition?
Yes, we have a classroom economy system. So we talked about their hard work would be invested upon by the sharks. And so we have prizes for first, second, and third, and they will be given money for their bank accounts. So we'll spend at the end of the year auction for sale.
When you have so many talented kids like this, is it somewhat of a challenge as a teacher to kind of pull it out of them? Because, you have some kids who may have great ideas, great inventions, but might be a little shy or not necessarily great at presenting. Talk about the challenges you have in terms of pulling that from these kids and giving them confidence to show that they are very talented.
Right. It was very interesting to see the different strengths they had. Some of them were very mechanical with their minds, and they built really sound products. But then when they introduced the products to the shark, they were a little more timid and shy, so they might not have been as entertaining as some of the other candidates. And some were really vocal and could describe their inventions, but maybe they didn't have as much time on their technical part. So it was interesting to see their strength. That's why the open-ended project was so helpful, because they could work to their strengths. And we talked about forms of advertisement and how you could use a motto or a jingle to entertain the sharks and kind of get them to buy into your idea.
And I would think this is a good lead into entrepreneurship, or like you said, as they go further in their careers, kind of getting that mindset, getting the wheel rolling sooner, it'll be better for them in the long run.
Right. Like next year with the 6th-year students, we were hoping to do like a future city competition where they're going to design and introduce a project of a city to a panel of judges. So having a private Shark Tank is going to be a great stepping stone for them to get to a big competition next year.
Well, Ms. Porter, as you let us sit in, some great students here at Murray Lasaine. You're doing a phenomenal job with not only the ones in this program, but the entire school. So we appreciate you taking some time and joining us here and telling us about your Shark Tank. And hopefully we'll see one of them on the real Shark Tank here in the future.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, that's Catherine Porter. She's the leader of the Gifted and Talented program here at Murray Lasaine, and just joining us here for a few moments here on CCSD Today. So we'll take a break. When we come back, more of CCSD Today from Murray Lasaine. We'll be right back.
Kids learn it at their own pace, to remediate on their own, see their own results, celebrate their successes right there.
I think it's easier for me to do things like online, like it captures my attention better than like doing it in books.
It's just made it easy. It is. It's made it easy, and the kids like it.
There are a lot of pictures. Sometimes it can be really funny, and some stories are make-believe.
I would never have believed that we would be a school that would be fully, implementing technology in every classroom. So we did it, and it's due to McGraw-Hill.
Some problems are tough. Reaching your customers shouldn't be. Blue Wave and Comcast have the creative edge to make you stand out from the crowd and connect with your customers. Whether you need a commercial for television, video for your website, or a custom-made website, we are the easy solution for every advertising problem.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick. And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year, but that won't be me or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Brought to you by Cruise Subaru of Charleston. You've got a friend in the car business.
Today we are starting our own business.
We're going to make different products and probably put them on market.
I need a name, a logo, and a specialty to sell.
Now we've grown to making things and selling things. This could help you to come up with your own business.
Corpus Colossum is really looking at connecting kids to the real world. We want to be the intersection of the school children and the workforce.
And welcome back, everyone, to CCSD Today. Still over at Murray Lasaine on James Island, one of our favorite elementary schools in Charleston County. And I'm blessed to be joined by Jennifer Walker. She's a teacher here, finishing up, her 9th year here at Murray Lasaine. And kind of an interesting fact, this is your 9th year. The first 6 years, you kind of taught traditional school, and then of course now Montessori for the last 3 at Murray Lasaine. I guess the big question I have, what's the difference between teaching regular, so to speak, and now Montessori?
So I taught 1st and 2nd grade traditionally here and have spent the last 3 in Montessori. I think the biggest difference is obviously the multi-age levels. So I have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders in my class. And just the approach to teaching and the philosophy is a lot different. It's very individual, very hands-on. I'm sort of following the child where they need to be. So, when I taught in 2nd grade, I had a 2nd grade curriculum to follow. Now I'm just sort of, I've prepared the environment so that they have materials to use and they can work sort of following their interests, but also where they are developmentally. So if a 1st grader needs to be doing some 2nd grade things, they have that opportunity.
As I was observing you in the classroom, the one thing that really jumped out to me is not a lot of desks, a lot of kids sitting, interacting with each other on the floor. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's definitely another difference between traditional and Montessori. That's their classroom. They use it how they prefer. So, some students prefer to be sitting on the floor. They're just more comfortable there. They can spread out a little bit. Some students prefer to sit at a table. They don't have assigned seats. They choose their workspaces every morning and set it up the way that best suits them. So they're sort of free to walk around the room to get their materials, to prepare, their work for the day. And that really helps them just sort of take ownership of their classroom.
What makes teaching at Murray Lasaine so special to you?
Murray Lasaine is a very special community. Being here for 9 years, I've seen lots of families come in and out, and it's just a very loving and caring environment. The teachers here care just as much as, for their students as the students care about us. So just a very nurturing environment. We all work together, very community-based, just a good place to work.
You talked earlier about having 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and you would think, obviously, from a developmental standpoint, sometimes that could be a little challenging because the 1st graders not on a 3rd grade level, but you really kind of embrace just that whole concept of being able to really kind of let these kids kind of monitor themselves.
Yeah, we have to follow the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade standards like anybody else. But what is nice is that, they're not held back in the box of first grade. They're able to explore those other areas. And then you might have a third grader who needs to go back and review some things that, maybe they didn't fully understand in first grade. So it's not that we're just saying, in October we do this and in November we do this. It's, what do you need to be doing right now?
Well, congratulations, Ms. Walker, on 9 years here at Murray Lasaine, and just observing her classroom, I can tell you it was very well put together, very interactive. The kids were just well behaved and just kind of doing their thing. So congratulations on another successful year here at Murray Lasaine, and best of luck in the future.
Thanks.
All right, that's Jennifer Walker joining us here on CCSD today, talking a little bit about Murray Lasaine. So we'll take a break. More of the show when we come back. You're watching CCSD Today.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick. And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year, but that won't be me or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Locally sponsored by Ford. Ford is in the race for the cure.
The law firm of Young Clement Rivers has been serving the Charleston Low Country since 1968. All of the lawyers of Young Clement Rivers are proud to be partners with the Charleston County School District. We are convinced that the hard work of the school district employees and staff prepares our young people to face the challenges of the future. We look forward to continuing our partnership and in helping the school district to meet its standard of excellence.
Welcome back, everyone, to CCSD Today. Still over at Murray Lasaine over on James Island. And it's now my pleasure to bring in a very special guest, the new principal. Of course, Ms. Conroy has done a phenomenal job taking leadership this year, but starting in July, Meredith Wallace will be your new principal here at Murray Lasaine. And first of all, Meredith, welcome to Charleston. Welcome to Charleston County School District. And thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me, Everett. It's so exciting to finally be here in Murray Lasaine Elementary School.
All right, now we got to know, tell us about Meredith Wallace.
Oh, well, I am coming down south from Frederick, Maryland. I have been working at a public Montessori charter school for 4 years as an administrator. And I'm excited to have a new adventure and be down south and be part of Murray Lasaine.
I would imagine being a principal is, well, for the most part, somewhat difficult no matter what format you're in, but it's an easy transition for you because, as you just mentioned, you come from that Montessori background.
Exactly. So while there will be a huge learning curve because I am new to this state and I'm new to James Island and I'm new to people and places, it's still Montessori and it's right for children. So coming into a school and working with staff and students should be something that I know.
Now, how did you find Murray Lasaine? You're coming from Maryland, obviously Murray Lasaine on tiny James Island.
Right.
How did this all kind of merge together?
I feel it's a little bit of kismet because I was searching the internet and looking for positions open because you should always search for new adventures. And I came across a tiny job posting for a principal of Murray Lasaine in James Island, South Carolina. So intrigued, I started to do a little research, and it was no longer posted on CCSD's website, but I wrote to HR, and things just started to happen. So after a series of interviews, I was asked to be the principal, and I gladly accepted, and here I am.
That's outstanding.
Pretty whirlwind.
I can imagine a lot of applicants would love to be, obviously wanted to be principal at this school. For you to stand out, obviously that means you're a very special person. The parents watching, the staff, all who are watching this right now, what separates you, and I guess what's your philosophy in terms of being a principal?
I think it's kind of match and fit, and I feel like this community has some needs that I know I have skills to help bridge. I can bring people together. I can support the teachers here and the other staff here. Love kids, got the kid part down, and I just think that they saw something in me that fit well here with what Murray Lasaine needs today.
All right, so if I asked you for 3 words to describe you to parents, describing yourself, what are those 3 words?
Oh, my 3 words for parents. Extremely hardworking, very empathetic, and I always seek to understand. There are always so many sides to stories.
And I would imagine, obviously, being in that role of principal, those all three very important because, as we know, kids are different today.
Absolutely.
They learn differently. They just respond differently. So those are pretty good traits to have as a principal.
I think so.
All right, now let's get to know Miss Wallace outside of principal, all right?
Okay.
So obviously you don't know all the fine restaurants we have here in Charleston.
I don't.
You will, trust me, quickly you will learn those. When you're not being a principal, what does Miss Wallace like to do?
Well, I like to be a little bit selfish. I love to read and I love to travel and I love time by myself. I also love to rearrange furniture and I love to paint. And we do a lot of things as a family. So we like to ride bikes and be outside and kind of get to know the area and explore.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And you mentioned family. Tell us about your family, husband, how many kids, so forth and so on.
So no husband, but my partner and I have been together for a very long time.
Gotcha.
And we have 2 children, Mallory and Luke, who hopefully will be attending school here and joining this family.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Sports are always big in Charleston. So, you know, college. Are you familiar with the college scene here in Charleston?
I've heard some things, and I know on the Murray Lasaine website you have some pictures of some staff members with the different teams represented, but I'm a blank slate, so I will root for whoever you root for.
So you can be sold. So in other words,
I can be sold.
I need to get you an orange and purple shirt for Clemson.
Clemson, I can be sold. Orange and purple is nice.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, it's all about the colors.
All right, there you go. And we'll look good on you, so we're good to go. Your favorite food?
Oh, I love to eat.
All right.
I'm not picky.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay.
All
right.
If you make me dinner, I will eat it.
All right, your favorite color?
Oh, I love the color blue. Can't go wrong.
Sky blue, dark blue, navy blue?
Any
just
blue. Any shade of blue.
All right, now, of course, you are a principal of kids. Your favorite kid author in terms of, you know, writing books?
Oh, there's so many good ones. Shel Silverstein is a favorite. We love his poetry.
All right. Well, hopefully I've given you guys a little behind-the-scenes look of your new principal. And again, the kids in the community are very fortunate to have you here. Got big steps to follow. I mean, Ms. Conroy has done a phenomenal job, and obviously Dr. Postlethwaite and the whole crew at CCSD have enough confidence in you. So best of luck as you lead Murray Lasaine into the next, I guess, next years and years to come.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
All right, this is the new principal, Meredith Wallace, joining us here on CCSD Today. We'll take a break and we'll wrap it up when we come back. You're watching CCSD Today over at Murray Lasaine. We'll be right back.
Here's a question for you. What does this look like? It may look like a blank screen, but it's really an opportunity for you to reach your customers. With a great television commercial, video for your website, or website design, Comcast and Blue Wave Productions can create the right message to get you noticed. Call today and take the opportunity to make your business stand out from the crowd.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, special thank you to all the fine folks at Murray Lasaine Elementary School for letting us take a look at the newly renovated school here on James Island and just showing all the great things taking place here at Murray Lasaine. So thanks for watching CCSD Today. We'll see you next time.